In the absence of leadership, take charge. In the absence of leadership, take charge. This week's episode is going to be about understanding Texas education freedom accounts from maybe a parent perspective. Now, this Schools One-Stop Shop is not about for or against any particular item. This is about, the whole channel is about the kids. And guess what? That's actually what this is going to be about. Because I believe in that information is power. And I also believe in that statement, in the absence of leadership, take charge. Before we get started today, it's been a great week in education this week, believe it or not. And I want to start by recognizing something very, very important. Today is National Principals Day. Today, May 1st, is National Principals Day. If you have already said something to your principal and told them Happy Principals Day, then outstanding. If you haven't, please go hug your principal and tell them what great folks they are. So before we get started, I definitely want to say thank you to every principal who's out there. You are absolutely the heartbeat of your campus. You're the bridge between the vision and the execution. What happens? And quite frankly, you're the ones who hold things together for our kids and families. Because old superintendents like myself, we get to talk a whole lot, but the people where the rubber meets the road are the teachers and the principals. Make no mistake about it. That's where the rubber meets the road. I mentioned the title at the beginning. A colonel said to me, that phrase that I said at the beginning of this podcast, in the absence of leadership, take charge. And that stuck with me throughout my entire career. Now, I've attributed to many other folks that have told me the same thing, might have had a military background. They may have heard that phrase before, because this is it's not something that I actually knew. But they came up with it, and when I heard it, it really stuck. In the absence of leadership, take charge. I need you to reflect for just a moment about where we are. Think about yourself. Are you a mom? Are you a dad, grandparent, teacher, principal, assistant superintendent, homeschooler, private schooler? Are you an elected official? Where are you now? What's the leadership look like where you are? Don't tell me. I know what many of you must be thinking, and the gamut goes from one side to the other. But this message is a call out for you. It's a podcast. It's all about that kind of stuff. In the absence of leadership, take charge. I believe that it's more relevant today than probably whenever it was said for the first time. Whether you agree with vouchers or Texas education freedom accounts or not, whether you voted for it or not, they're here in Texas. They're here. They've already been voted in. They got more than $1 billion from the last legislative session. And the question is no longer if they're here or whether you believe them or not. It's what are we going to do about it? You're sitting at your house or wherever you're watching this, and you're saying to yourself, okay, so those things are out there. What are we going to do about it? Because if we're really about the kids, if we're really about what's trying to help kids, what do you do about it? Let me try to break it down for you as simply and as plainly as I possibly can. In Texas, the education freedom accounts are what most people call vouchers. And they're a program that allows families to have yet another choice. And if they're selected, they get another opportunity to have a different choice. And you get funding from the state of Texas to support their child's education outside of a traditional public school system. In Texas, if they're selected and their child does not receive special education services, they get about $10,400 a student. If they're a homeschool student, they'll receive about $2,000. And if they're a child who's got special needs, and that's been documented and accepted from the uh, Texas Education Freedom Accounts group, which is run by the comptroller. It's not run by the Texas Education Agency. So if you were to look in to try to find out more about it, which I encourage everybody watching this to do if you have questions about it, the comptroller's office is the group that puts this out, and not the Texas Education Agency. And while you may think they share all the information, they don't. They are separate entities. So we know that EFAs or vouchers or the Texas Education Freedom Accounts are happening. We know in Texas that we had about 260,000 people who had applied for those vouchers or the Education Freedom Accounts. We know that with the $1 billion that the Texas legislature has appropriated to them, about 90,000 families have been given those dollars to make those additional choices for those kids. They get to the parents who did receive those dollars get an opportunity to go into an educational marketplace where approved vendors get to can help them with whatever their educational goals are for their kids. So Schools One Stop Shop, I want to make sure that I'm transparent. We're a vendor for them as well as we're a vendor for probably many other folks that are out here. Maybe some of you are watching this. We're vendors for a lot of folks because we believe that one size doesn't fit all, and we tie all of that back into our philosophy of if kids are first and we're really trying to get them to move into this STEM to earn, STEM to learn philosophy. If that's the way that mom and dad want their child to learn, we want to help them get there in the best way that we can possibly get there. If you didn't receive a notification and that was something that you were interested in finding out more about, like, hey, I want to find out more about vouchers, and you didn't get anything, you probably weren't selected. I know the first half of people who were selected already have received their notification in the mail or by email from the Odyssey group. And there's an Odyssey group that is a third-party group that is managing the Texas Education Freedom Accounts for Texas. No, I didn't choose them. I have nothing to do with any of this. In fact, this is just information sharing. In fact, I was blessed to have a group of women who asked me to come out to a community town hall that they did. The ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha Incorporated, the Tau Omega chapter, asked me to come out and speak on a Sunday after church to a group of folks that had come to hear a town hall meeting because they wanted to know more about it for their kids. And so I shared the stage with a school board member or two, and then I got to share with some educators who were retired public educators and folks to talk about this. And so I was really blessed to get to do it. It caused me to do a little research, which is what I'm sharing with you today. Because if you're interested and you're in Texas, or even if you're not in Texas, but you wanted to know more about what this program is, then I'm telling you what I know so far. Bottom line is, for those people who were selected, wherever they are in Texas, if they were selected, they've already been notified for the first phase. And the second phase will be coming shortly from the comptroller's office. But now, no matter what, is really the time to get informed and to be prepared. So depending on who you are and where you sit on this, I think everybody should be informed. So if you're a principal like our outstanding principals today, and you're currently in a public school, or you're in a private school, or you're in a charter school, then you should think from that capacity. What should you be thinking about today? And if you ask my opinion, you want to learn as much as you can about the other opportunities to learn from other providers. What are they offering? I want you to know when I said that statement right there, I really thought a little bit about a state senator who at one time told me to my face, he says, Bostic, you all need to learn how to pivot. He found out that they didn't have the vote for something that when I was a public school superintendent that we had been asking for. And he said, Bostic, you all really need to learn how to pivot. And so I asked the senator, I said, what does that mean? You've been dealt the hand that you've been dealt. So you can either spend time worrying about what that is or trying to fight against something that's already done, or you can figure out the best way to approach it. And that's what he brought up. And so I think really that's what the ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha Incorporated were doing when they were trying to find out more information. They were trying to find out information so they could choose or not to either appropriately pivot to whatever worked well for their kids, constituents, grandparents, grandkids, I'm not grandparents, but grandkids or nieces or nephews. They were asking when I went through this presentation at first, what is this? They wanted to know what the Texas Education Freedom Account was, the vouchers. They wanted to know how it works. Honestly, at the time, and still now, we really can't tell you how it works because this is the very first year. We're finding out as we go. And as the comptroller's office does this, and they've never done it before, we're learning as we fly. We're building the plane as we fly, as some people say. What's it mean for kids? I know they had, the legislature had good intent because they were intending to give parents another chance to take more control of their children's education. And we pray that it works out the way they were hoping that it works out for kids. Because this is not about adults. This is about kids. I had a tough time when I started to look at this, to be honest with you, because I had to look at it from a different lens. From a former superintendent's perspective, the question ended up being, if families are choosing something different, what am I not providing? You know, basically that question, is there something wrong with me? Or did we not communicate what I needed them to communicate? What flexibility am I not giving to them? Is it because I can't? Is it because it's not there? Do I not have the funding? There are all kinds of reasons, but all those things ran across my mind. And then after I stopped kind of looking back at what I didn't do, I said, so what am I offering? What innovative programs am I not offering, or am I offering with what I have? There used to be a phrase out there that says, grow where you're planted. And so that's it. The hand that we've been dealt is the hand that we've been dealt. In the absence of leadership, take charge. What do you have and have control of? Whether you're mom, dad, homeschooler, private schooler, charter schooler, public schooler. I think I said private school. That's what we want to know. Whatever hand you've been dealt. What opportunities are students not getting that maybe they're going to seek somewhere else? Well, if we really want to level the playing field, this may be an opportunity for us, no matter where you sit or where you think on such an idea, to figure out how can you pivot and come up with that. So for example, in things like STEM to learn, STEM to earn, that's one of my coined phrases that I use all the time. At the end of the day, families are making decisions based on opportunity. They want to get, from my perspective, an opportunity for their child to learn. They want to get, from my perspective, an opportunity for their child to earn. They want their kids to do well at the end of it. And at the end, opportunity for their child to succeed in the real world. That's exactly what the intent is here. However, a parent and a child take that road. This is kind of maybe an opportunity for us to reframe the narrative, if you ask me. So for the leaders that are out there, those who are watching this, elected, non-elected, and I'm going to ask you, if you like what you saw, and I was so inspired by the first episode, if you like what I saw, not only subscribe. Please, please, please hit the button below, subscribe. And if you didn't, subscribe anyway. Doesn't mean it'll change, but it definitely means you can join the conversation. And then share this with others. Put it on your networks. Put it out there if it's something that you believe folks may want to know or hear about. This isn't for or against something. This isn't about being against anything or for anything. This is about understanding that the landscape is changing. In fact, it's already changed. And when the landscape changes, in my thoughts, leaders don't complain about it. Leaders adjust, leaders innovate, leaders respond. In the absence of leadership, take charge. Something I think is important that not enough people are talking about, if you ask me, even if a family is exploring education freedom accounts or vouchers, I bet, and when I've read and researched, your school district, if you're a public school, you actually can offer some resources. That's an opportunity for you to engage with mom or dad. The mom or dad that may or may not have gotten selected to receive that funding. It's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to put your best foot forward. It's an opportunity for you to pivot. Districts can help guide families, from what I've seen. They can help provide information to that, and they can build programs that attract families, truly like a competitive playing field. For our principals, every principal who's listening to this, they got to listen on National Principals Day, which is today, this is your moment. This is your time. This isn't a threat. It's not a threat if they've told you, hey, here's the number of applications and people who've gone. Look at how bad your school is. No. And if your school is bad, then I'm going to challenge you to do something about it so people want to come there. If you wouldn't put your child there, why would you ask somebody else to have their child there? People bring to us their very best kids. They don't leave the good ones at home behind. They bring their very best kids. And if you're parents, I know you understand what I'm saying to you. No matter what your child has, whatever they have, they're your child. I know I love my children no matter what they are, what they do. They're mine. All of their pluses, all of their negatives, all of their successes, all of their failures, all of their in-betweens. And when they bring that child to school, that is somebody's most precious gift, the best thing that they have. Everybody should remember that. If you ask me, and some of you may turn us off from hearing that, I hope you don't, because I really think from a old superintendent, a retired superintendent's perspective, that's what people need to hear, that we love your kids. I used to tell my staff all the time, I don't just like you, I love you. And if you were with me at one of my former school district or one of my places, you're probably smiling now because that's exactly what I see it. I don't just like you, I love you. I think it's an opportunity for leaders to reimagine your own campus, to strengthen your culture, and to try to innovate in ways that meet the needs of the families that are coming to your schools today, inside of the parameters that you can put them in. Don't just tell us what you can't do. Figure out what you can do with what you have. I'm going to bring it back to what the Colonel told me. In the absence of leadership, take charge. This is a leadership moment in education. And the question is, who's going to step up? If not you, who? If not now, when? I want to thank you for taking time to listen to me today. And this is School's One Stop Shop. And if we can help you solve a problem, not only should you subscribe, send us an email, click and ask us. We'd love to come out and help be a resource for you. See you next episode.